Hello, it's your girl Julia again. So it's been 5 months on hormones. Wow. I'm kind of in an odd place right now. It seems like whenever I look at the clock, the days seem to take forever. But when I look at the calendar, I'm just kind of like, that much time has passed already? Wow. I'm not really sure I've got a whole lot to talk about in terms of progress. I feel like at this point it's probably more subtle changes, like my face is probably getting a little softer, my chest is maybe getting a little bigger, stuff like that. But nothing really noticeable yet. People still call me sir, so I guess I still got a ways to go. But I can't blame them too much. Does this look like the face of a man or a woman to you? You know what? Don't answer that. But there is definitely one thing I have noticed that is very different. So, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the crowd I'm hanging around with. Maybe it's the hormones, but I like complimenting people. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy, like I just gave somebody the best hug. Which is really weird for me because I was never really that big a fan of hugging. Hugging was mostly saved for relatives because whenever I had to say goodbye to any of them, I had to hug them and say goodbye, and it would just be like a good 10-minute process before I could go anywhere. Then as I got older, I didn't like people touching me. I just didn't feel comfortable with it. So it's really weird that I like this sensation of getting like a nice, big, warm hug. Or maybe it was the idea that I never really had a nice, warming, soothing hug before. It was mostly just kind of like, oh, hey, how you doing? Yeah, goodbye. Can we do it without the hugs this time? I've quite frankly had enough of it, and I gotta go. All right, fine. You happy now? Okay. Yep. So maybe that's part of it as well. That's basically it for like the physical and I guess emotional side. In terms of everything else, I'll get like a little bit of a rundown. So I got another blood test in the middle of this month. See what my levels are at. I'm kind of looking forward to this. Last blood test I saw, the results were looking pretty good. And then after these results, it'll be followed by a doctor's appointment just to kind of see where my medication should be at. If I should raise something or lower something, or if I'm just in the right spot. In terms of the legal side, I've put forward a name petition to actually legally change my name to Julia. Getting it notarized was probably the hard part. However, for those of you that are curious if you need to notarize any documents for name changes or anything else, you can actually get that done at any bank. There should be at least one notary public there, and for the most part, it should be free, or maybe like a $5 fee. It costs a little bit to pay for that little stamp to put on there. And also, they told me that the notary public does not have to read the document. So if there's something sensitive like, well, the change your gender, you can request that they shouldn't read it, and they can honor that right. At least that's how it works over here in the United States. I'm not really sure how it works in other countries. That's my little disclaimer for that. I guess probably the only other side effect I can think of this medication, it's not necessarily advertiser friendly, if you know what I mean. If you truly want to know, just ask in the comments, and I'll just label it not safe for work because it's not. I still figure this is a pretty short video, so I think I'll add one last other thing, and that's gonna be the voice. I've kind of given up on the voice. Been working on this sort of vocal therapy since before I even started on estrogen, in all honesty. Maybe I'm doing it wrong, but here's the basic gist. So, like every morning and every night, just kind of take a little bottle of water like this, and then swallow it hard. And then what you want to do is you feel your Adam's apple here. You just basically want that to go up as high as possible. Hold that swallow, and then go on ahead. And then just let it go. Do that for like 10 to 20 minutes a day, one in the morning, one at night, then follow it with some hot water. Now, the little guide I was reading said that eventually you can get to a point where you can breathe once you actually have your Adam's apple all the way up here. I've never been that successful at it. Another thing to note as well, if usually I'm doing some sort of voiceover work on the computer, basically what I'll do is I'll just kind of take a swig of this. And then I'll just hold the voice box up like this. Which, it kind of works, but unfortunately as soon as I let go, it sounds normal again. So I mean, it's not so much that I can't do a natural girl voice, but it just kind of sounds like I'm on helium, doesn't it? I don't really think this sounds very feminine at all. But I think it has kind of stretched out my vocal range a little bit. So I can kind of talk like this, and it doesn't sound entirely cringeworthy. But, you know, that's about the gist of it. I was kind of hoping that maybe after enough of this vocal therapy, I would just kind of sound like this naturally. This would be my natural speaking voice. But no such luck. From what I've seen in terms of transitioning, it's funny how it's so much easier to make your voice go lower than it is for your voice to get higher. It's really something you have to work at if you want to have a really high voice. And, well, I have seen a few other videos out there of transgender people, and, well, they have about the same voice, so at least I'm not the only one that's having this particular problem. I would think maybe there's like corrective surgery, but let's be honest, the only surgery I want is to remove the jingly bits. That's my way of trying to make it sound rated G. This is very hard stuff to talk about and make it for a general audience. I know it doesn't necessarily matter because I don't have enough subscribers to start getting ads, but at the same time, I don't want this video to get flagged either. I'm just gonna throw this out there as well. So it's the idea of laser hair removal. So the basic gist of it is that when you do it, you no longer have to shave again. There's this one local place in town that does that. However, it's a bit more expensive than I thought. So I got an estimate for my face, and they said $1,200. I mean, it would be nice not to have to ever shave again, and, well, maybe it's just a family trait, but if I let it go for too long, I will actually grow a unibrow. They said they can take care of that as well, but $1,200? I maybe buy a new razor, which is maybe, I don't know, $100 at the most every 3 years. And then shaving supplies, that's maybe, I don't know, another 20 every 3 months. I mean, maybe over the course of my lifetime it might eventually be worth it, but at this point I'm like, that's a little steep. I have heard other people talk about a process known as electrolysis, which can also make it so you don't have to shave again, but I'm not sure who you go to see that, or if it's any cheaper, in all honesty. Well, who knows? Maybe in time the hormones will just kind of break up the follicles here and I won't have to shave as much. I could put up with shaving the face every day. I mean, I've been doing it for so many years, but shaving the legs, that takes a very long time. Usually for me it takes about maybe a good hour. And then even then, it only stays clean shaven for like the first 3 days, and then I basically just turn into a giant strawberry because it just doesn't stop itching. And I have a feeling I'm either preaching to the choir or I'm telling this to somebody who doesn't care. So yeah, I think that's about it. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask. I mean, I can't possibly cover everything that I've encountered, and well, I can be kind of forgetful sometimes, so just a little comment here and there will just be like, oh yeah, I should have mentioned that, shouldn't I? I just kind of cover general things which may be important or people may want to know. However, maybe there's some sort of obscure thing you do want to know, like, I don't know, they say estrogen gives you more of a appetite for salty things. Since this is a quick one, I'll just answer the question right now. I haven't really noticed anything different. I mean, I always liked salty things before, and I still like them now, so I can't say if there's any change there. And that's about it. Till next time, be yourself, no matter who that is.